Hello to everyone out there. I'm going to do a video about a pickup I had recently. Well, it was online, but it was $270 for 53 PS1 games. Works out about $5 a game. I'm pretty happy with it. The best thing really was that it was from another collector, so I knew the condition was going to be good. You know, one thing I've realized is that people sell games on eBay, and if they're not really into it, you know, they'll just pick things up from the car boot, and no matter how bad the condition is, you know, they'll sell it for kind of going rate, and often you can be left very disappointed. So this was great. I originally kind of got into collecting Game Boy, I would say, disc-based stuff. I kind of avoided a little bit. If you can get me, it was basically because I was a bit OCD about condition, and like I always found it hard to find discs in mint condition because obviously they get scratched. But then it was just one of those things where you'd get the odd game and it'd be in really, really nice condition. You think, well, I don't want to sell that, I want to keep it. I can't really remember what those games were, you know, for PS1 say, but that just kind of turned into me thinking, oh, you know, I'll try and just get the games I really like, you know, the games I had as a kid or whatnot, and then it just grows from there. And you're just kind of like, oh, I want these games because I love the artwork, I want these games because they're really cool or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to show you the games now. There's quite a lot of games that are kind of drive-in based, which on another system could be a bad thing. On the PS1, I don't think it is. There's so many good racing games and racing kind of combat games and shit like that. So I've kind of tried to organize them now because I tried to do this video before and it was just a nightmare. So the first two games are Destruction Derby 2 and Destruction Derby Raw. Destruction Derby 2 I already have. I'm a big fan of the big box games, so that's a must. Plus I love the series because it was like very early memories of the system. This one I don't own. I've never been massively interested in it, so whether I'll keep it or not, I don't know. It's a situation where I want to make my money back, ideally, because that's just something that I'd like to try and do. And this could be one of the games that gets sold because it's not massively important to me. Now, there's a couple of Ridge Racers in here, which is really cool because I actually wanted these. So Ridge Racer Fat Box was on my list and I got that and I was chuffed because it's such a sick game. In terms of the artwork, it just looks awesome. And these were never on the list until recently. I was just like, you know what, I really need to get those games because they just rock. In terms of artwork, I don't know, I just love them. So the only one left for me to get now is Ridge Racer, I think it's called Revolution. So I'm really happy to get those. Rollcage is a game I love, so I already have that. Rollcage 2. Funnily enough, I remember seeing this at a games fair recently for like 15 quid, and I kind of just in the past week or so, I kind of thought to myself that I kind of wish I picked that up now, because I just love this game, Rollcage. So to have stage 2 now is awesome. Okay, so next we have Cool Borders and Cool Borders 2. I've got Cool Borders 3, and I really hunted that game out because that was the one that I played when I was a kid, and these two and like the fourth game were kind of on the list, but I'd kind of put these in with Destruction Derby Raw, where it's like I kind of might keep them, but they could definitely go up for sale because there's more important games for me. And I can't keep everything, you know, it's the ultimate thing. I can't keep everything. So, Porsche Challenge, game I already own, that's it. There's 3 Wipeouts here. So there's Wipeout 1, there's Wipeout 3, and then there's Wipeout 2, which is 2097. I've got the original on big box, so gassed with that, you know. I had a really good deal on that from the games fair, 20 quid I think it was. The sequels weren't really on my radar, so I'm gonna say similarly with some of these other games, you know, they may get sold. You know, it'd be nice to have them maybe, but it's not a biggie for me. Oh, and another game I actually have, funnily enough, is the special edition of, I think it's Wipeout 3. And I was just super lucky to pick that up at the car boot. There was a guy who was looking at the PS1 games and he left that, which was ridiculous because it was like mint and it's a really expensive game, which I didn't realise at the time. So I was very lucky to get that. Next we've got Formula 1 and Formula 1 97. These will both be for sale. I've already got Formula 1, and the only reason I'm really keeping that, or the only reason I have it, is because my brother had it when we were kids. You know, it's a decent game, but you know, Formula 1 doesn't really interest me other than just that, so that's cool. Micromaniacs I already have. Wicked game in my opinion. I love the Micro Machines series. Play a lot of it with Beach. So yeah, can't get enough of that, but that won't be going for sale. This is funnily enough one of the big hitters of the bundle, which I wouldn't expect. So Need for Speed 2. I've got the third one, which is similar with Cool Borders. You know, that was the one I specifically hunted out because that was the one I played as a kid. I had it as a kid. It's a wicked game. And the other Need for Speeds, oh fuck, again, you know, I wouldn't say no to adding them into the collection, but they're not games where I'm like really kind of like, oh, I'm a massive Need for Speed fan, I really want those games. So, you know, that may well get sold because it's going to be like a 40 quid game, so, you know, I need some money back. V-Rally and V-Rally 2, these will likely get sold because they're just not really, I've never really been into them particularly, you know, in terms of rally. It was always Colin McRae for me. So, but although I think, you know, these more sort of arcadey rally games are, you know, they do have merit. Circuit Breakers, this is a sick game. Again, along the lines of Micro Machines, you know, it's kind of miniature cars and things. And yeah, I've played this with friends quite a few times and we always have a great time on this game. It is a wicked game. Hidden Gem, maybe. Driver 1 and 2. Now these I don't own and they weren't on my list, but more recently I kind of thought, you know what, I kind of need to add those in because Driver's just a iconic franchise for the PS1, so you know, I'll likely keep these. I think Driver 2 is in the better condition. Not that Driver 1 isn't in good condition, it's in fine condition, but yeah, that's the story there. Micro Machines V3, as I've already mentioned, you know, big fan of the series. I've already got this game, so that'll be going for sale. Yeah, just a wicked game basically. There's these two, which is Revolt and RC Revenge. I was just looking what that stripe says as acclaimed range. So I don't know if that was like kind of like you know, like a budget range or something, I'm not sure, but it comes in the sort of the black case, you know, which I do like that kind of thing because it's a bit more, you know, unique as it were. So these games, I think I've got a funny feeling that I had Revolt, you know, a couple of years ago and I ended up selling it. I think maybe I played it and I was a little bit disappointed with it and I thought, I'll flog it on. But I do kind of think these games are cool because obviously, you know, they are kind of along the Micro Machines line and I like those kinds of games. So these may get sold to recoup, you know, money, but you know, there's also a chance that, you know, I might keep them. Scars, funnily enough, I have this game. It's a cool game. I just remember playing it as a kid. I think maybe I had a demo or something. It's like it's a driving game, a racing game, but you know, you shoot each other. It's a cool game. I like it. I already have it though, so that'll be for sale. And last but not least on this kind of genre, Colin McRae. I already have this game. It's a banger. The only thing I was disappointed with this game, the poster isn't in there, so that was a shame because I was kind of hoping if it was in there I could just add it to mine because I don't have the poster. But everyone knows that Colin McRae came with a poster, so there's that. But on to the next sort of genre. So these are the platformers. There's a few, not many. Croc and Croc 2. I I was never like a Croc player or anything, but like I would like to keep these ideally. I've recently kind of got the Spyro games into my collection. And, you know, obviously Crash is in my collection too, minus the second game, funnily enough. But, yeah, Croc 1 and 2, you know, would be nice to add. Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus. So Abe's Odyssey I do have in my collection, and that was always a kind of game that was kind of hovering around a little bit in terms of, like, if I was going to trim the fat on my collection, this would be one of the ones to go. Not because it's not a good game, but it just doesn't mean lots to me. But at the same time, you know, I love the artwork of this one, like I can't lie. So, you know, I may keep this, you know, and obviously I already have this one, or I may just sell the pair as a pair. But, you know, again, just to recoup money. So we'll see. We'll see. Now we got Rayman 1. This is a little bit similar to Croc. Like I played it when I was a kid and I rated it on the PC, but I never played it on the PS1, so it just doesn't mean a great deal to me. I do have the second for sale at the minute, so I'm a little bit like in the back of my head. I'm like, do I keep this and do I keep the second and then I can sort of tick those off the list, or do I really care? I don't know. So there's a chance this will be sold. There's a chance I'll keep it, I guess. Next is sort of Metal Gear Solid-y games. Obviously we've got Special Missions, banging game. You know, obviously I love MGS on the PS1, it's absolutely boss. Special Missions was beast. Especially as you could play as Ninja on it, I'm pretty damn sure you could, which was banging. I haven't played this game for a long time. But yeah, I've already got it, so I'll be got it for sale. Obviously that's one of the sort of decent games in the bundle in terms of value. You know, you're going to be looking at probably like 30 or something. Next, we have Syphon Filter 1 to 3. So Syphon Filter was a game I was looking for sure. I loved this game when it came out. I remember playing the demo. It was wicked. And it's one of those series where I'm kind of like, as with so many games, I kind of like, I really want the original. But then there's also a part of me that's kind of like, well, do I want the sequels as well? Maybe. I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm saying, like collectors, where it's kind of like, there's lots of games that I like and would like to have in my collection, but I'm also aware that when you just let a collection just bloat, it's kind of like, I don't know, it just, like, you gotta trim the fat. Like, there's no point just having all of these games, because then you get to the point where you're like, well, I may as well just have every game on the system. But that's not my aim. You know, my aim is to have a really cool collection that I like. So in short, I don't know whether I'll keep all three. I'll definitely keep the original. I know that. The next games are everyone's favorite genre, the survival horror genre. Well, survival horror genre is the horror genre. So Legacy of Kain. No, this is a game that I wanted. It wasn't a game I played a lot of, but I loved the artwork. So that's why I wanted this game, because I just love the artwork, and it's obviously it's iconic. This is not the cover with the lenticular cover or whatever it is, where it's kind of like semi 3D, but that doesn't really matter. You know, I still think this is really cool. I don't even know whether I'd prefer the other cover necessarily over this cover. I think this cover's sick, but yeah, so that's a nice one. Definitely keeping that. This is another one of the big hitters, Evil Dead. This has never been on my radar, and like it was literally only from getting it in this bundle that I was like, oh, this is a survival horror game. Like, that's actually kind of cool. So since I learned that, obviously I'm like, oh, this would be sick to keep. But this was also one of the games that I was like, well, I'll sell that, because obviously it wasn't on my radar anyway. So that's a tricky one. I mean, that's in good nick too. The box is really good condition, and I think the disc is as well. I've obviously looked through these, and I'm pretty sure that is one of the minty games, but yeah, so that's a big question mark over that one, as with most of the games. Alone in the Dark. This is a game I already own. I feel like I have so many boring stories for these games, but another boring story for this one is this was kind of a game that I sort of just hung on to, but it never really meant anything to me, and then I never sold it, and then I was kind of glad afterwards, because I just thought to myself, you know, I really want the horror games in my PS1 collection. What it is about those horror games, I don't know. I mean, they're obviously very collectible. They're way too scary for me to play. So there's that one. That'll be going for sale. And then last but certainly not least is Nightmare Creatures, which is a game that I picked up not too long ago. You know, so this one will be going for sale as well. But I had a demo when I was in Nipper, you know, the best horror games, and this was on it. And, you know, it's a classic, isn't it? So there we go. I don't have the sequel to that. I know the sequel's an expensive game. And like, obviously I'd love to pick that up one day, but not going to be easy to find that one. You know, I think with games like that, for me, it's like, I can imagine picking it up at a boot, maybe, but picking it up on eBay, probably not, unless it was in a big bundle, like a bundle like this, and you got lucky. You know, those kind of expensive games, I'm not going to be forking out silly money for those games. The only games I would like fork out a lot of money for is more so the games that I'm specifically into. Like Twisted Metal is a good example. I love the fat box version of that game. Whereas, you know, Nightmare Creatures 2 is more of like a nice to have sort of game. Right, anyway, so these last games are just random games. Assault, never heard of it. This will be going on for sale. Looks like a decent little game. Broken Sword 2, obviously it's a banger. This is one of those games where I kind of never really thought, oh, I really want that, because for me it's a PC game, and it's the same with Doom. You know, Doom is a PC game. So, and Carmageddon to an extent, but yeah, so this is probably going for sale, and it's one of those things where I kind of think, once I've ticked a lot of games off my list, I might come back to this day and think I should have kept that because I want it now. Do you know what I mean? It's a classic game, but it'd probably be sold. It's a decent, you know, it's decent-ish value. I think it'd probably get 20 or something for that. Here's another one. Versus. Don't know a lot about this game. You know, I kind of recognise the cover and stuff. I guess it's a fighting game, but yeah, I'll be selling that because it doesn't mean nothing to me. I never really played it, so. Soviet Strike and Nuclear Strike. These were never on my list, but to be honest, kind of having them in my hands, I'm a little bit like, I kind of wouldn't mind keeping these because I do really like the Strike games. I had Jungle Strike on the SNES. It's just a wicked game, and I can imagine that these are really cool games, to be fair. Next on the list, Loaded and Reloaded. These are sick games. I have both of them, both in the fatties. The only thing to say really is my loaded game, my disc, is the Music Jumps, which sucks, obviously. I bought it from a gaming event for a decent-ish price. I think I paid like 14 quid for it. And it was only sometime later that I kind of played it and realised that the music was jumping, so it was a shame. So I'll definitely be taking this, you know, this disc. And as for my disc, I'd like to get it cleaned, is the truth. I'd love to get it cleaned and see if I could get it running properly, because then I could just sell it. You know, I don't want to sell someone a crap game, obviously. There's a game I've never heard of called CT Special Forces. That's really lightweight, but it has got the manual. They've all got the manuals. This is probably the one game in here I would say that I'd never heard of it, but when I looked it up, I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. It's basically like a Metal Slug style game. You know, I've never really seen a Metal Slug style game that isn't Metal Slug. So yeah, that's a really sick one. You know, it may well get sold. It's like a 20 quidder, you know, but it is a really cool game, and I may try and keep it. Who knows? Who knows? I may be feeling crazy. Final Fantasy 2. Obviously not, but Fighting Force 2. This one's kind of on the list, kind of. I've got the original. The original's a banger. I played it as a kid. It's 3D Streets of Rage. It's sick. The sequel, never really played. I had literally a fuck about on it the other night. But it's a little bit like Rollcage 2, where it's like it's the original I love, but it would kind of be nice to have the sequel as well. But I'm not like super bothered about this, so I'm gonna say I'll probably keep it. This is a cool looking game. Obviously I've heard of it. I've seen it around. The City of Lost Children. I kind of think it might be like a point and clicky type game. I think it is like an adventure game. You know, it looks really cool. Don't get me wrong. It does look really cool. And I'd be tempted to keep this, but as I've said a million times, I kind of feel like this could be one of those games that kind of has to go because I can't keep everything. So, but it's a nice one for sure. And it's a 20 quidder, that one. This is ISS. I already have this, so this will be going up for sale. You know, only thing I can tell you about this game really is like it wasn't on my list at all. You know, I really love ISS 98, which I have. But when I got this game, it was in really good condition, and I wanted to keep it because I love the artwork. I just think the artwork's just dated and just wicked in that sense, if you know what I mean. You know, if you like this kind of stuff. So yeah, that'll be going for sale. I love the ISS games, you know, the Pro Evo games, you know, I should say. Obviously, the series went on to be Pro Evo, and I played a hell of a lot of that on the PS2 because that was kind of all we played back in uni. Gauntlet Legends. This is a game I know very little about, and it'll be going for sale, in short. This is another game I've never heard of. Techno Mage or something. Return of Eternity. It looks like an RPG, and to be honest, it's one of those games, when I actually looked this up online, in terms of the gameplay footage, I thought, surely that's going to be worth bunts, you know, because RPG, PS1, it just is. But this isn't a very expensive game. Yeah, this is, you'd be sort of lucky to get a tenner for this game, really, which sort of surprises me, because I've never heard of it. And it's an RPG, so that usually spells major profits, but yeah, so that one will probably be sold, but it looks a cool game, yeah, obviously if you're into that kind of thing. And this is the last game. C12, Final Resistance. I've never played this game. I'd say it's in good condition, but I think I'll get sold because I've just never played it. You know, it's not really on my radar, but I'm sure it'll be a really nice game for someone. So yeah. That's it, guys. That's all of the games. I hope that was interesting to someone. I wish I could, you know, I wish I could say more about each game individually, but I just feel like, you know, this game would just go on for fucking ever if I did that. So, yeah, I hope someone enjoyed it. Like, I would like to do a video where I kind of go through all the games that I played as a kid, which is obviously quite a lot, and kind of talk about them and talk about my memories of where I played them and when I played them and all that kind of stuff. So if you'd be interested in that, let me know. But that's it from me. I hope everyone's good. And in terms of comments, let me know what you think of the bundle. Really, you know, which titles in there are must keeps. Really, are the titles in there that I've said that I've never heard of that I need to be well aware of? Because I don't doubt that those games are out there. But as for the bundle in general, I'm pretty gassed with it, really. I'm very pleased. It was a lot of money, you know, it was a lot of money, but there's a lot of quality in there, so pucker shit. Take it easy, peeps.